Good morning, everyone. Paul, maybe you could let me know if you can hear me. I seem to be a little bit stuck. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm so sorry I'm late. I just started to load on to live stream, and my computer just completely shut down all by itself. Said Windows has encountered a problem, which is always a little bit of concern. It's a beautiful day in downtown Halifax. It's a gorgeous, what feels like a summer day. The birds are filling up at the feeder, and the finches are in town, and the sun is out, and it's just a gorgeous day. I took my son to school today, and he lines up in the morning at assembly at school, and they sing "O Canada," and for some reason I got all kind of emotional about that, and I was wondering, well, what is that about, this kind of patriotism that I feel for Canada? Many of you who know me know that I grew up in the United States and moved to Canada in 1976. That was before maybe a lot of you were born. I hate to admit that, but anyway, it is what it is. So since I've moved here, I've felt at home in Canada. I felt like Canada was my home. I've defended my Canadian citizenship to all of my American friends who think that America is the best place in the world, and I have a tendency to take issue with those kinds of definitions of different places and across borders. And recently I went to visit a refugee camp that was a mock refugee camp that was put on in Halifax by Doctors Without Borders, and I love that. I love that title, Doctors Without Borders. It suggests that it doesn't matter where people are, where they're going to go and be of service. What matters is that they are doctors and they're prepared to be of service to humanity. And so that's really kind of what I'm wondering about, this idea of patriotism. So I sat there and I'm wondering, why is it that I'm tearing up about "O Canada"? And I thought, well, patriotism in and of itself is a wonderful thing, as long as it's in a wonderful context. And then I started to think, well, what about patriotism for the earth? What about patriotism for the world in general? What about loving our earth and all of the people, as Mother Teresa says, and I'm so fond of quoting, all of God's children and all their various disguises. And while Canada, I think, is a wonderful country as countries go, we contribute to some of the devastation in the world. Recently we've been talking about asbestos mines in Quebec, and how it's okay for people to go into these mines and to work and acquire disease while they dig out this asbestos, and it's okay, according to our government, to ship asbestos all around the world, but it's not okay to sell it within Canada or the United States. I think there's a problem with that. I think it comes down to the difference between greed and love. And we really need to look at what is greed and how does it affect our lives internationally, and our feelings about people who are in poverty, or people who live right around the corner from us who live in poverty, and the people who live across the world who live in poverty. We see beggars on the street perhaps and walk right by them, or maybe throw them a coin without looking in their eyes. And we have perhaps some judgment or fear. And the question is, how are they so different? Do you realize that we're, according to Jill Bolte-Taylor, who's a neuroscientist, we are 1/100th of a percent, 1/100th of a percentage point different from each other genetically. 1/100th of a percentage point difference from each other genetically, and only about 8% different from apes or monkeys. And so what makes us so separate in all of this. We're not. It's really about our ego. Sorry, I just had something pop into my screen here and distract me. And so ego really needs to be noticed and appreciated, and then said, no thank you. I choose to love my neighbor. I choose to love my enemies. I choose to love those people across the border, those people who are trying to get in to have a better way of life. I choose to allow diversity in the world, because that's what makes us interesting and special and beautiful. And I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me, and thank you. And so let's just do a little tapping around on fear, because I think really this is what it's all about. I'm just going to back away from the computer a little bit. Even though I'm afraid of other people sometimes, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I'm afraid of people who may be in poverty or who are begging on the street, that's not who I am. And what I see is not who they are. I love and accept all people, all races, all colors, all sexual persuasions, and I love and accept myself deeply and completely. I have these fears. Oh well. I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Top of the head. Even though I'm afraid of the differences, and I set myself as separate inside the eye, I choose to see everyone as God's children in all our various disguises. In all our various disguises, as I am one of God's children also. Outside eye. I love and forgive myself for thinking that we're separate, that we're different. We're all the same. People bring us information because we need the information to come to us. Under the eye. I love and forgive myself for feeling separate. I love and forgive myself for feeling separate. I acknowledge and accept that we are all one energy, and operating for the greater good of the universe, the expansion of the universe, which is absolutely necessary. We are operating for the greater good, the expansion of the universe, which is absolutely necessary. I came here to fill a space on this earth, and so did everyone I can see around me. And no matter what it looks like to me, they are God's children, and I love and accept myself as I love and accept them. I am sometimes filled with judgment and fear. Oh well, I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for that. Under the eye. And I love and accept myself deeply and completely. This has been 8 for 8. This has been Al Rodi. I'm so grateful that you're here this morning. I again apologize for being a little bit late. Please join us again next week, and I'll send you out a little notice about what will be our next topic. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Have a great day. Have a great week. Stay closer to your spirit to accomplish more and work less. Bye now.